Hello, dear students. Well, this is John Paul Dervo again, and this is part three of the tutorial related to your presentation number 4, which will be a persuasive speech or a presentation to persuade. Now, the most delicate and important step in preparing for your presentation is choosing your topic, selecting a topic. And this is very important because, well, your topic and the thesis statement or a statement of purpose you're going to use will be the heart of your presentation. Now, in selecting a topic, keep it simple. Choose a topic that really interests you, or choose a topic that you already know about. You already have plenty of information available to you. You've already thought about the topic. You have experience related to the topic. It'll make your life easier. Now, your teacher will send you a list of topics which has been compiled by my good friend Dr. Omar Bello. Those are possibilities. You see, you have 35 of them here. For example, distance learning is more comfortable and convenient than in-school learning. Well, life in the city is better than life in the countryside. Eating healthy food improves health better than exercise. Go over that list, and also go over the list which is available in your book on page 182. You see that list. You have capital punishment, arranged marriages, violence on TV. Well, think carefully. Now, your teacher is going to send you, or is sending you as an attachment, a persuasive speech preparation worksheet, which I think you may find useful in preparing for your presentation. So the first step here is to choose 3 controversial topics that interests you. Somewhat controversial, keep it in mind. You're trying to persuade us of something which we may not agree with. So it could be any topic. Let's say your topic is Jubail, for example. Jubail, okay. You're going to persuade us that Jubail is a wonderful city to live in. So this will be the purpose for speaking about your topic. I'm going to try to persuade you that Jubail is the best city to live in Saudi Arabia. So here, this will be the specific statement of purpose or thesis statement, where you will try to formulate this right here. I'm going to try to persuade you that Jubail is the most wonderful city in Saudi Arabia. So here, you've selected 3 topics. Let's say Jubail, let's say gun control, and let's say social media. And then, you think of the purpose here. Jubail is the most wonderful city. Gun control, well, gun control laws should become stricter. Women driving, women shouldn't be allowed to drive. And then you will formulate your a specific statement of purpose or thesis statement. Then you select your topic. Then for number 5 here, you have to think of 3 reasons why people may be indifferent or opposed to your topic. Why? Well, you're going to have to anticipate what your audience is going to think, and you're going to have to address this. And this is what we're going to see a bit later. So, for example, if I select Jubail, right? Jubail is my topic, and I'm going to try to persuade you that Jubail is wonderful. Jubail is wonderful. So here, I'm going to try to persuade you that Jubail is the most wonderful city in Saudi Arabia. And then, well, you're going to have to try to think of three reasons. Three reasons why Jubail is the best city in Saudi Arabia. So, persuasive claim, you should have three of them, really, at least. Number one, it has excellent schools. Number two, it has a beautiful corniche. Number three, it has excellent infrastructure. Now, you got to think of three reasons why people may be opposed to your topic. Some people may say, well, my hometown is Riyadh. I feel lonely in Jubail. Or number two, Jubail is polluted. The air quality is not very good. Or number three, well, other cities in Saudi Arabia offer better shopping opportunities and shopping facilities. Then we continue to the second page of the preparation worksheet. You prepare and open a building on areas of agreement. If your topic is Jubail, we all want a comfortable life. We all want to live in a pleasant environment. Number seven, your persuasive claim will be, I'm going to try to persuade you that Jubail is the most wonderful city in Saudi Arabia. And then the main points of your body here, well, number one, Jubail has excellent schools. Number two, it has a beautiful corniche. Number three, it has excellent infrastructure. Those will be your main points. And then your summary, well, your summary will be a repetition of your persuasive claim, which is Jubail is a wonderful city because of those 3 points that you mentioned in the body, that you develop within the body. And then here you prepare your memorable concluding remark. Now I prepared an outline which you may want to use. You'll find it useful in order to map out your presentation. The outline is your roadmap, and it's like a questionnaire. You fill in the questionnaire, and your organization is taken care of. So here you have the introduction, then you have the body, and finally you have the conclusion right here. Now, in the introduction, you have the attention-getting opener building on areas of agreement, whatever information you're going to put there. Then your preview or thesis statement or statement of purpose, 3 different ways of saying the same thing. Your claim of persuasion claim. Yes, your statement of persuasive claim. You're going to say it clearly. And then you will have a transition which leads to the body. Okay, my introduction is done. Let me move on to my first point. And here, what I'm doing is the first paragraph of your body is a concession. Concession is admitting to the existence of an opposite point of view, which is contrary or opposite to yours. In order to be effective in the art of persuasion, you have to be aware of the opposition to your point of view. So if I'm trying to persuade you that Jubail is the most wonderful city in Saudi Arabia, well, a lot of people may disagree. And you have to be aware of this. And you have to address it. And this is where you do that in the first paragraph or the first part of your body. Then you have a transition. You move on to your first persuasive point. Then you have another transition. You move on to your second persuasive point. Another transition. You move on to the third persuasive point. So, how do you formulate your transition? Well, I've just finished discussing the infrastructure of Jubail. Let me move on to my third point, which is the corniche of Jubail, for example. And then at the end of your third persuasive point, you have a transition which leads to the conclusion. The conclusion includes a summary where you repeat your preview. What do? You repeat your thesis statement. That's what you do. And a memorable concluding statement, which can be a recommendation, a piece of advice, or your prediction for the future related to that topic. Now, within your presentation, you should try to make use of what they call sayings in your textbook. You have a part of each chapter which deals with sayings. Here in chapter 9, it's on page 198, and it consists of idioms and proverbs. Kill two birds with one stone is an idiom, meaning you achieve two goals with one action. Haste makes waste is a proverb or a saying, which means, well, if you act too quickly, you may commit mistakes. Half a loaf is better than none. This is a proverb. It means something is better than nothing. His bark is worse than his bite. This is an idiom or a metaphor which expresses the idea that a person's actions are not as bad as their threats. The metaphor is of the dog barking, which may be worse than the bite of the dog. And here, you can catch more flies with honey than vinegar is a proverb. You'll be more successful if you're nice than if you're mean. So what you should try is you should try to incorporate anywhere within your presentation one idiom at least and one proverb. And also, you should try to incorporate a citation. You should be able to quote from an authoritative source, from a magazine article, from some research that has been done related to a certain subject, and your quote should be clear. You should say exactly where you got your information. Don't just say according to Wikipedia or according to Google. Wikipedia may be considered to be an authoritative source somewhat, but Google would be too vague. You have to be specific and say where you got your information from. So once you've completed your outline, you should use a checklist which is included as one of the attachments sent to you by your teacher. See here, you have this checklist. So here, have you chosen a topic which the audience may be somewhat indifferent to or opposed to, at least 50% of your audience? Have you consulted outside sources, dictionary, newspaper, magazines, books, encyclopedia, professional journals, the internet? You should specify where on the internet, so that you may be able to cite, to quote authority. Then, have you prepared your opener building on areas of agreement? Have you written your statement of purpose? Well, the outline for the body, have you filled out each paragraph within the body, each section? Have you prepared your summary for the conclusion? Have you prepared your memorable concluding remark? Are your transitions clear? Have you prepared a transition before the summary? Prepare transitions before the within the body. Visual aids. You don't need to use visual aids for this presentation. So, and this is a checklist. You may find it useful. Before you record your presentation, you should practice it. Practice it 2 or 3 times at least. It'll make it easier. Not to get confused, not to forget certain points. It'll make it easier to pronounce and articulate clearly. Now, these points here, this is an evaluation worksheet, which is meant to be filled out after the delivery of the speech. So, well, keep in mind eye contact, look at the camera, volume of voice, speak loud enough, rate of speech, don't speak too slow, don't speak too fast. Enthusiasm is always good. Show that you're interested in the topic. Time limit, well, for this presentation, it's going to be a minimum of 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes. Make sure that you reach the minimum. And the introduction, is it clear? Do you have a statement of purpose, which is your thesis statement? Is it well organized? Do you have supporting evidence to support your point? And using quotes from authoritative sources such as magazines, newspapers, journals, and so on is definitely a good thing. Visual aids, we don't need this. Transitions, are they clear? Your summary and your conclusion and your concluding remark. Keep those points in mind. Now here we have what we call the rubric, which is used by your teacher, the speech to persuade, 45-minute speech, and the point assignment for each criteria here. Posture, well, you're going to be recording from home. Best thing is to stand, but it may not always be possible. I see some students record their presentations sitting in their cars or sitting at home in their living rooms. Those are exceptional times, so you'll be forgiven as far as posture is concerned. Body language, well, if you show enthusiasm, your body will follow suit, and your body language should just be natural. Eye contact, well, you don't have an audience of 30 students or classmates. You're just looking at the camera, so just look at the camera. Volume of voice, well, as long as your volume is, the volume of your microphone is loud enough, it should be fine. Rate of speech, well, don't speak too slow, don't speak too fast. Time limit, minimum of 4 minutes. Your introduction, did you have areas of agreement? Within the introduction, your specific persuasive claim, or your thesis statement, is it clearly stated? And your body organization, summary, concluding final remark, and, well, your language usage. And this not only includes the usage of idioms and proverbs, but also grammatical accuracy, usage of adequate vocabulary. So again, don't forget, Please include one idiom, one proverb, and at least one citation, at least one of each. Uh, and a citation is a statement of facts or figures and where you obtain this information. Example, how do you word it? According to an article published in Time magazine in July of 2019, and so on and so forth, or according to a research conducted by the Ministry of Health of Saudi Arabia in February 2015, and so on and so forth. So you have to video record your presentation. During the recording, make sure you look at the camera, speak loud and clearly with confidence and passion. Don't forget to smile, and make sure that your presentation is at least 4 minutes in length. Now, please refer to the 7 points to keep in mind while giving a presentation. And here are the 7 points. Number 1, eye contact. Well, look at the camera. Number 2, voice projection. Speak loud enough. Articulation. Make sure that you say clearly every syllable of each word. Articulation. Pronunciation means to produce the sounds of the English language. English is different from Arabic. It includes sounds that don't exist in Arabic. Try to produce those sounds. It doesn't mean that you have to put on an American accent or a British accent. No. Try to produce, like the R, for example, try to produce the sounds of the English language. Fluency, well, you shouldn't have too many hesitations. Your speech should flow like a river. Natural sound, just be yourself. And time, of course, well, a minimum of 4 minutes. Now, don't forget, at the beginning of your presentation, don't forget to clearly state the following. Your section number. Here, in this case, it's going to be presentation 4, not presentation 3. Your name and your student number. So you can get started. Start thinking about topics and think of 3 topics that you may want to discuss, and then select one of them. You know, it's better to have 3 to begin with, and then you can eliminate 2 that you may think may not go too far. Be careful in selecting your topic, because once you select it, you're kind of stuck with it. So do that, and don't forget to go on Blackboard and take a look at Blackboard. Take a look at the announcements that are there. Your teacher is going to post announcements once in a while. Make sure that you're up to date on those announcements. Your teacher may send you emails as well in your email address. Check your email. In order to submit your presentation this time, based on management's directives, you're going to have to create a YouTube account, and you're going to have to upload your video on YouTube and send your teacher the link of your YouTube video. I have a channel. My channel is called JIC English. This is my channel here. I've uploaded a few videos from your classmates. This is where I upload my tutorials here. And, well, you know, I've been teaching for many years. I have, before coming to Saudi Arabia, I was teaching in Korea, and that was about 15 years ago. I did teach persuasive presentations, and some of my students back then made persuasive presentations. Now, they may not necessarily use the organizational outline which I presented, but if you're interested, you can always watch some of those um, if you think it might inspire you. Basically, follow the outline which I've provided for you. And don't forget, this is the outline. Don't forget that you need an attention-getting opener, building on areas of agreement, a clear preview or thesis statement or statement of purpose. All those three all mean the same. And then you transition into the body. And again, this may seem confusing to you or counterintuitive. You start with a concession. Well, why would you do this? Let me give you an example. Your father tries to persuade you to be a good student and to study hard. Now, he can just cut to the chase, as we say, and just tell you, you need to study hard because you will, persuasive point number one, you will get good grades. Persuasive point number two, you will feel good about being successful in class. And persuasive point number three, if you get good grades and you study well, I will be a happy father. Now, the concession here is admitting that there may be some opposition. The opposition will be, yes, my son, I understand. Studying is not easy. I understand that playing video games is a lot of fun. And I understand that you're tired and you need some time to relax. This will be a concession. But then, once you've given the concession, you move on to your persuasive points. So I hope that you understand my explanations. Take care. Stay well and safe with your families. And good luck on presentation number 4, which is speaking to persuade. Bye for now.